really seems to me that if that were the case, we would have seen this trooper video by now, but I'll be shocked if that is the case. But again, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, although I'm not sure that the way that they acted, again, pulling over an ambulance enables that. Let's talk about the troopers in general. Do any of these guys have any kind of a past history of complaints such as this? I mean, is this supposedly an isolated incident, or has this happened before?
I've gotten a couple of calls that would suggest, well, before I even go into that, I just want to say that Mr. Davis made it perfectly clear, or plainly clear to me, that there was only one trooper that was involved in this in terms of trying to arrest the paramedic. He said the other troopers who were on the scene were just trying to defuse the situation. Mm-hmm. You know, he said there was one trooper that I called by name, Daniel Martin, who was the responding trooper. As of now, when I spoke with OHP, he's now the subject of an internal investigation.
Okay.
And Daniel Martin has not been put on paid administrative leave, which is routine in most cases, or suspended. You know, usually when an officer is under investigation for something, whether the charges are valid or not, there's still an investigation pending. They would usually put that officer on paid administrative leave while that investigation goes on, or they would suspend him outright. Paid administrative leave is seen as a procedural type of thing. Suspension is seen more as a punishment or a reprimand.
Well, what can you tell us about this?
He hasn't done anything.
What can you tell us about this internal investigation? Are they at least telling you what he's being investigated for? What are some of these previous complaints?
The previous complaints, I haven't gotten any word back from OHP on the previous complaints. I asked about that, and they said that they're still looking into it. And I don't know whether there's a procedural thing that goes on unless someone is, charged with the crime or, formally, being investigated, whether they release that information to the public. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you that I've gotten at least one other call from a paramedic for the same organization who alleges that someone that same trooper stopped her vehicle while she was trying to transport a pregnant woman.
So wait a minute, this guy has a past of actually, this isn't the first time he's pulled over an ambulance, and the other incident was with a pregnant woman?
Well, that is one of the allegations that's being made from a paramedic who works in the same group.
Now, from that allegation, I mean, was she ticketed? Was she detained? Was she stopped? Did she find this difficult?
Yeah.
I mean,
what's her story? I'm still working the story and trying to get all angles. Mm-hmm. As far as what happened, she called and left me a message, and I spoke with her husband about this because he was the one who called. So I'm still trying to confirm that, and I'm still trying to talk to, the paramedics in question. But the paramedics were not, Mr. White and Mr. Franks have not been suspended either. According to the Creek Nation, they're still on duty. They're still paramedics, and they're still working on their shift.
Now, does this guy have any kind of relations? Is there a good old boy network out there? I mean, if this guy's under investigation, he's not on paid administrative leave at all. He's not on leave while he's being investigated. That seems to be, I mean, this seems like maybe it's a smaller community. People are afraid to speak up. Is that because there is this, backwards network out there? I mean, does this guy have relatives, friends in the upper echelons of the city council? I mean, what's the deal here? Does he have any of those kind of connections?
Well, from some of the viewers I heard from, there seems to be that perception that he's being protected. I don't know I can't say for certain whether the OHP is protecting them, but there is a judge in the county where this all happened who happens to have the last name of the same trooper. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to make the connection there. I just spoke with the DA. I asked if they were related, and she told me she didn't believe that they were, but I haven't been able to confirm that. Because, again, we're still working the story. We're still trying to find out some stuff. I still would like to see the entire dash cam video of what transpired.
Yeah, I think that's utterly necessary. I mean, we need to know what happened before, especially because, the way that the video that I've seen, the gentleman in the back is trying to keep the coolest of heads, and it's not until, again, they try to arrest him, and he is the only EMS worker in the back with this woman, that he tends to get a little hot. He doesn't even really get hot there. It's when they put their hands on him and say he's under arrest. And, my point is I've had callers come in and say, no, he's the bad guy. He resisted arrest. Had he not resisted, they would have taken him into custody. He would have been processed, and this woman would have been taken to the hospital without an EMS worker in the back. To me, that's crazy.
Well, and they said that's the reason they didn't arrest him, because there was a patient back there. Mm-hmm. But, and they said that he could be arrested later on. And when I asked, well, why wasn't he arrested at the scene? they didn't want to arrest the paramedic because they said they didn't want to leave that area, which is a relatively small area without a paramedic on duty. But
that's kind of doublespeak, because then they would have arrested him after he got to the hospital or charged him. Like you said, there have been no charges yet.
And he hasn't been arrested yet.
Yeah, and he hasn't been arrested yet. So it really, to me, seems like they're really trying to cover their own, backsides, if you will. And this is just, to me, it was a really disgusting incident. These people are out there to save lives. This could have been dealt with just a call, like you said, to the 911 operator to see if there was an emergency call. There was no reason to set up what you said was basically a roadblock after they had taken care of their call to have this incident ensue. And again, we only get to see part of the picture. And I would think that, there are, I think, 2 or 3 cop cars on the scene. There should be more than one dash cam.
Right.
So, I hope that you continue to pursue this story. You hit us up with any updates. I really thank you for your time, sir. And like I said, if you get anything more, if the dash cam is released, please give us an email. Please give us a call, and we'd love to have you back on.
Well, thank you so much. And I can tell you that this story has gone viral, and we've gotten tons of calls from across the country. It's been all over the cable news networks. I think it made it on at least one story on the network level. So it's definitely an issue people are going to be keeping a close eye on, myself included.
All right. Thank you so much, Dave Jordan, everybody. And the latest on that EMT versus Oklahoma PD incident, really a disgusting incident, in my opinion, and a blight on the police force, and really the police state that is encroaching on us. It's the Alex Jones Show. Back with your calls after this. Alex on the other side of the hour.
The New World Order beast is genetically modifying your food, mixing vegetables with animals, and now experimenting with viruses. Without a long-term food solution, you will have just 2 options: starve, or surrender. All canned food supplies will eventually run out. What then? Grow your own healthy food and feed your family forever. SurvivalistSeeds.com is now the nation's largest bulk heirloom seed company, and it's owned by a real patriot, Big John Lipscomb. You can now have an infinite amount of healthy vegetables like a watermelon, a bundle of carrots, or tomatoes for a little more than a penny each. SurvivalistSeeds.com. And now you can go into business with Big John at SurvivalistSeeds.com by becoming an affiliate. See his link at SurvivalistSeeds.com.